So good morning. So in our last class, uh, we studied the alter command and its usages. So using create, alter, and drop commands, we can make changes into the schema of a relation, or we can change the structure of a table. So today we shall see how we can extract the data that is present inside the table. So the data extraction commands or statements so are called as queries. Okay. So the data that is present in a table, so it can be either classified as a bag or a set. So it can be classified as a set or bag. So you all know the meaning of a set. So in set, the order of the elements is not important, but there will be no repetition. And in bag is also like a set, but the difference is the in bag repetitions are allowed and order doesn't matter. So the data that is stored in a table, two rows can have same values for all the attributes. Then that will become an example for a bag. If we enforce a primary key or a unique key, then all the attributes of any two rows will not be same. At least there will be a difference in one of the attributes which happens to be a primary key or a unique key. Then the data present in that particular table will become a set. So it is called as a multi-set, or sometimes it is also called as a multi-set of tuples. So we'll not call it as a set of tuples, but we'll call it as a multi-set because it can be a set or a bag. Yeah, you can see the example over here. This is an example of a bag because the element A is repeated. So A is present here. But here, each element is present only once. Then this becomes a set. Again, there is a difference between a bag and a list. The difference between a bag and a set is the repetition of an element. Whereas the difference between a bag and a list is the ordering. In a bag, so you can observe here A, B, A and B, A, both are same because the order of the elements doesn't matter. Whereas in case of lists, so list is represented using these rectangular braces. So A, B, A it is present, but it is not equal to B, A because the relative ordering of the elements will be different. So in the database tables, either we can have a bag or we can have a set. So by default, everything will be bag. When we define the constraints using a primary key or unique key, then that particular data becomes a set. So now let us look at the basic structure of a query. So in SQL, in order to extract the data that is present in the table, So the command which we use is called as a select. So we also call it as a select statement. And it will have uh, three parts: select, from, and where. So select command is followed by the list of attributes we want to extract, from list of tables on which we are passing a query. Where is the condition? The condition which we want to apply on each row of a table. So again, if we want all the attributes of a table to be retrieved, then in place of attribute list, we'll mention a star. Select star. So star indicates all the attributes of a table. From In from clause, we will write the names of the table. And if any condition we want to specify, then we will include the where clause. So this where clause is not compulsory. But if we want to add any condition while extracting the data, so we will put a where clause, and we need to mention the condition over here. This condition what we mention over here should evaluate to a Boolean expression. So just like how we write the condition in a if statement or in a while statement in C programming. So same way we'll mention a condition over here. So and that condition should finally evaluate to a Boolean expression. And this condition whatever we write is applied on each row of a table. So if there are 10 rows in a table, this condition will be applied on all 10 of them, and whichever row satisfies this condition will be extracted. So we shall see those with examples. So let us again quickly relook at the schema of the company database which we described. Employee, department locations, project, works on, and dependent. So employee, the list of employees; department, list of departments along with a manager who is an employee who manages this entire department. Then department location. So as we described this in our previous classes. So a department can have its location in multiple places. Then project. So each project is identified by the project number, and each project belongs to a particular department. And an employee works on a project based on the number of hours, and one employee can work in multiple projects. So and along with that, employees will have dependents. So they have a relationship with ESSN, which is linked to the employee table. So based on this particular table, we'll look into some data, and then for that particular data, we will be writing the queries. So this is the snapshot of the data. So employee, a sample data is provided over here. So some rows are present for each tables. So employee, so John, Franklin, Jennifer, Ramesh, Joyce, James. So these are the names: first name, middle initial, last name. Then in department, research, administration, headquarters along with their numbers. So locations is also present over here. So department number 1 is present in this location, 4 this location, and 5 is present at 3 locations. So similarly, so the data is being filled over here. So I will send this particular data so that you can have a look at it, and we will write all the queries with regard to this particular data. So and each query will have three basic operation, that is select, project, and join. So we shall discuss these project operation later. So select means selecting the attributes, projecting is the conditions, and join is linking two tables. So these things we'll discuss when we will be uh, discussing the relational algebra. Okay, so these three are related to this relational algebra. So this relational algebra is nothing but a mathematical some sort of a mathematical representation of queries. So when we execute the query, we'll write it in the programmatical format. The same thing if we represent it in algebraic notations, then it becomes relational algebra. So in relational algebra, we will be using these concepts, so which we will discuss once we complete the SQL part. So our first query, the query is retrieve the birth date and address of an employee whose name is John B. Smith. So here the name of an employee is given and we need to retrieve his birth date and address. So when we have a query like this, first we must look at the schema and identify where this particular information is present. Based on that, we will be selecting the tables. So here we need birth date, address, and name of an employee is given. So first we must go back to our schema and find where birth date, address, and name of an employee is present. Are they present in a single table or it is spread across multiple tables? So in our schema, so all these informations are present in a single table, that is employee. So you can have a look over here. The first name, middle name, last name, then address and birth date. So all the information that is required is present in only one table, that is employee. So now what we'll write is a select statement followed by list of attributes we need. So what are the attributes we need? So birth date and address. So we'll write B date and address. So depending on how this particular attribute is defined in the table, so the same name we need to mention over here. So the attribute name is B date, address. Then the only two attributes are required. Next is from. In from class, we'll be mentioning a list of tables. So all the information that is required for us are present in only one table, that is employee. So we'll write employee. Select followed by attributes from table name, that is employee. And next we need to apply the condition. So what is the condition mentioned over here is the name should be John B. Smith. So condition. Again, the name is splitted into first name, middle initial, and last name. So first name should be John. This is the connectivity. So first condition is our first name should be John. Then middle name should be B. Then last name should be Smith. So these are the three parts of name. These conditions are connected using the logical operator and operation. So just like how we use double ampersand in programming language, we can use this particular keyword, that is and, in order to connect the conditions. So now what happens? For each row, this condition is applied. First name should be John, middle name should be B, and last name should be Smith. For each row, this condition is applied, and those rows which satisfy this condition will be extracted. So that becomes the result of our query. So have a look at the data. So you can zoom over your screen to look at this particular data. So here it is a first John is present over here. So only one entry is there for the first name, which is John. Initial is B and the last name is Smith. So only one row satisfies the condition, and in all the other remaining rows, so the condition is not satisfied. So this particular row is selected. Once this row is selected, then we'll check what are the attributes we need to extract from this. So the attributes we need is the birth date and address. So what is the birth date? 1965 1/9, that is the 9th January 1965 will be returned for birth date, and for address that is 731 Houston, Texas, TX. So that will be extracted. So our result of that particular query will be only one row containing two attributes, that is the birth date and address. Now the question may arise is, what if we have another employee over here having the same name? If another employee is present with the same first name, middle initial and last name, that row will also be selected. Then we'll be having two rows in our results. So whichever row satisfy the condition, so that will be extracted. So this is our first query to extract birth date and address given a name. So the result of a query may contain duplicate tuples. So which means if two employees are there with the same name, both of them having same birth date and same address, still possible, because in employee table only employee SSN can be primary key or unique. So rest of the things can be same. So our result may have a duplicate tuple. So this is our first query. So next, let us look at one more. So the query is retrieve the name and address of all employees who work for research department. So now let us find out what are the information that is required for us and where it is present. So the information required to run this or to write this query is the name, address of all the employees. Okay, so we need a name, address of all employees who work for research department. Here the name of the department is given. So name of the department is given over here. So in which table this information is present? So again, for that we need to look at the schema. Okay, look at the schema. So we need a name. So name means first name, middle name and last name. Along with that we need address. So of all the employees who work in research department. So these four attributes what we need is present in the employee table. But the department name, that is a research, is present in the department table. So the information that we need in order to operate on that particular query is spread across two tables, that is employee and department. So generally what we do, so let us look at the data. So have a look at this particular data. So first, if we just go by this particular table, so without programming or by just having a look at this particular data. So what we do is department name is there So research. So we'll get its research, and then we'll take its department number. And in the employee table, how these two tables are related? So employee and department table are related based on the department number, right? So the D number of employee and department's D number should be same. So department name research, department number of that research department is 5. So now we will check over here where 5 is present. Okay. So 4 employees are there for which the D number is 5, which means these 4 employees work in department research. So we need to link these two tables. So how to link these two tables? So that is in the condition. So what happens in the query means, okay, here. Yeah. So select the end result we need is a first name, last name and address. Which are the tables involved in order to extract the result? It is the employee and department. So 2 tables are required for us. Now, in order to link these 2 tables, we need one condition, and another condition is required to select the research department. Okay. So the condition is here, D name should be research. This is the first part of the condition, and department number should be equal to D number. So this is the attribute that is present in employee and department table. Okay. Here, if you may look at it, these are the purely attribute names. So DNO is the attribute name which we used in employee table. So that is the name. And D number, it is the attribute which is used in department table. So we will be joining 2 tables, employee and department, such that the condition of the join is the department number of employee table and the department number of the department table should be same. Once they are same, then we will apply the condition, that is department name should be research. Or you can interchange the condition also, so it doesn't matter. So as long they are Boolean expressions, so the order doesn't matter. So this condition can be applied. So now what happens? So it will return the list of employees, that is the name of the employees and the address, who are working in research department. So this is our second query. So similarly, let us look at one more query. For every project located in Stanford, list the project number and the controlling department number and the department's manager's last name, address and birth date. So if you look at this query, so we need project location is present. So that is Stafford. We need its project number, controlling department number. So these things we can get it in the project table itself. But along with that, not just manager's SSN, here the manager's name and date of birth is also required. So these informations are present in 3 tables. So you can have a look. So project location is present. We will extract here. We can write the condition. Project number also we can get. Department number also we can get. But the thing is, we need the name of that manager and date of birth, which information is present in employee. But we need a mechanism to link project and employee, but there is an additional condition that is being asked. That is, we need the first name and date of birth of the manager of this particular department. So where we have the information that contains manager, so that is present in the department table, that is a manager SSN. So which means first we must link this department number with the department, and then from based on the manager SSN, we can link it with employee table. So all the 3 tables are required now. So let us look at the query. So what are the information we need? Project number, department number, name, that is last name is taken over here. We can write first name, middle initial along with that, so it doesn't matter. So date of birth, address of the manager. From which table we are operating on? Project table, department table and employee table. So all the 3 are there. Now we will write the condition. So how to link project and department table? So it is based on the department number. So the D number of the project table and the D number of department table should be same. Then how to link department and employee? So it is based on the SSN. So it's the second condition. That is MGR SSN present in the department table should be same as the SSN and employee table. Then finally, we will apply the condition, that is the location should be present in the staff folder. So all these things, 3 conditions are linked using the AND operator. So this is the join operation which we will be performing on this particular tables, it is project, department and employee. So all these things, concepts we will practice in our laboratory sessions. Okay, we can stop here for today's class, and we can continue in next class. So you can enter your attendance in the chat window.